Hello everyone, how are you all? Today we'll discuss Standard 7 Subject Science Lesson number 11 Cell Structure and Microorganisms Notes. So let's begin. This is question 1. Answer the following questions. Question A is what is a cell? Children, it is very important question. The cell is the fundamental, structural and functional unit of living organism. Now question B is name the different organelles in a cell. Answer is the nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, lysosomes, mitochondria, vacuoles, plastids, chloroplast are the different organelles in a cell, and all these organelles are very important in a cell. Children, always remember. Now let's see next question. See, what are microorganisms? The organisms which cannot be seen with our eyes but can only be observed under a microscope are called as microorganisms. Now, see question D. Which are the different types of microorganisms? And the answer is algae, fungi, bacteria, protozoa and viruses are various types of microorganisms. Some are unicellular. Uni means single cell, which cells are having single cell. And the other are multicellular, means having many cells. Some of them are useful and some are harmful. Children, now all of you are very familiar now what is virus because of this COVID-19 situation. Let's see question 2, which is fill in the blanks with proper word. A. The organelle called the dash is present in the plant cells only, and the answer is either plastids or chloroplast. B. Garbage is converted into dash by microorganisms, and the answer is fertilizers. Instead of fertilizers, children, you can write down manure also. That is alternative answer. See, in the cell, photosynthesis is carried out with the help of dash, and the answer is chloroplast. D. An electron microscope is necessary for the study of dash. Answer is microorganisms. Students, let us begin. Question 3. What is the difference between us? First one is plant cell and animal cell. This I have divided in two parts. First part is for plant cell and another one is of animal cell. Now first point of plant cell has cell wall and cell wall is absent in animal cell. Second point, plant cell has definite shape due to presence of cell wall, and in the animal cell do not have definite shape. Third point, plant cell has one big vacuole. Vacuole means empty space, whereas animal cells have many small vacuoles. Fourth point, plant cell has chloroplast, so they produce their own food because in it chlorophyll pigments are present. Fourth point, animal cells do not have chloroplast, so they cannot produce their own food. Fifth point, plastids are present only in plant cells. Fifth point of animal cell, plastids are absent in animal cell. Sixth point, lysosomes are absent in plant cell and lysosomes are present in animal cell. Seventh point, the cytoplasm of the plant cell is lesser, granular and not dense. 7th point of animal cell, the cytoplasm of animal cells is more granular and dense. Now we'll see next one. This difference we have to write in prokaryotic cell as well as eukaryotic cell. So this is also divided in two parts. First point, the nucleus of prokaryotic cell is not distinct. And in eukaryotic cell, the nucleus is distinct with nuclear membrane, nucleoli and nucleoplasm. Ribosomes are small in prokaryotic cell, whereas ribosomes are large in eukaryotic cells. Third point, a prokaryotic cell is a single length of DNA is present. In eukaryotic cell, several lengths of genetic materials, that is DNA, is present. In prokaryotic cell, no other cell organelle are present. In eukaryotic cell, several organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast, etc. are present. Prokaryotic cells are found in blue-green algae and bacteria. Eukaryotic cells are found in highly evolved plants and animals. 6th point of prokaryotic cell, examples I have given: bacteria, then blue-green algae. 6th point of eukaryotic cell is euglena, amoeba, all plants and animal cells. Now we'll discuss question 4 here. The question is given: sketch and describe in your own word the plant cell and animal cell. Children, here the diagram of plant cell you can observe, and this is the diagram of animal cell. Now what is vacuole? This empty space, white in color, is known as vacuole, where you can observe in animal cell this empty space which is small in size. This is nucleus, which is very important organ in animal cell as well as in plant cell. Now here this is the cell wall, which is only in plant cell. That is why it is got definite shape, whereas in animal cell wall is absent. So this is how you can observe both the diagrams over here. Because of this cell wall, how it is got hexagonal shape, means some specific shape, whereas animal cell do not have certain specific shape. These are mitochondria, then cytoplasm. These such a small dots you can observe over here. Both the diagrams, such a labelings you have to do properly when you are completing your notes. This you can complete as a project also. And these diagrams are there even in higher classes. So prepare well both these diagrams properly. Now question 5, explain the uses and the harmful effects of microorganisms. Let us see answer uses of microorganisms. First point, microorganisms decompose the waste and sewage water. Second point, by the process of decomposition, they keep the environment clean. Fertilizers are prepared from waste by this process. With the help of biogas plant, the biogas is prepared by microorganisms. Third point, the microbes residing in the soil and root nodules of leguminous plants help in the biological nitrogen fixation. This helps in increasing fertility of soil and also in increasing the protein content of seeds in legumes. Fourth point of uses of microorganisms. Microorganisms help in the formation of curd and other milk-based products. Fifth point, the process of fermentation is used for production of acetic acid, citric acid, lactic acid, vitamins, antibiotics, etc. Sixth point, processes like tanning of skin, production of ropes and strings from agave are also done with the help of microbes. Seventh point, oil slick is cleared with the help of some specific bacteria. Now, let us see harmful effects of microorganisms. First point is microorganisms spoil the food. In hot and humid air, there is a fungal attack on food. Second point, microbes produce enterotoxins and cause food toxic resulting into food poisoning. Third point, harmful microbes cause diseases in plants, animals and human. Amoebiasis, typhoid, cholera, hepatitis, gastro are caused by water and foodborne microbes. Fourth point, microbes cause diseases like malaria, dengue, elephantiasis, yellow fever, chikungunya, Zika fever, etc. These diseases are caused after mosquito transfers the microbes into human body. Common cold, cough, diphtheria, pneumonia, tuberculosis are diseases of respiratory tract which are caused by microbes. Let's see question number 6, give reasons. See, a question is given, diseases spread on a large scale during periods of heavy rainfall and floods. Let us see the answer. The spread of disease is most likely during heavy rainfall and floods. The water and food gets contaminated. The waterlogging causes growth of microorganisms and houseflies. They spread the pathogens rapidly. The humid atmosphere induces food spoilage. Even if flood water recedes, the puddle formed helps in the breeding of mosquitoes. All such reasons are responsible for epidemic spread of diseases. Big question, there is possibility of food poisoning if we eat stale food. The stale food is likely to have microbes in it. Some of the microbes produce enterotoxins. The enterotoxins cause food poisoning. Therefore, there is a possibility of food poisoning if we eat stale food. Question C. Soil is turned over during tilling. Answer. There are some useful bacteria in the soil. They help to decompose organic substances into inorganic nutrients. Thereby, they produce fertilizers. Some microbes also help in nitrogen fixation. They help the plants to get nitrogen. Thus, to have better yield of crop, the soil is turned over during tilling to mix the bacteria. Question D. Fungus grows quickly in moist or humid conditions. Answer is, the fungus needs suitable conditions for the growth. The moist and humid conditions are favorable to it. It does not grow in dry condition. E. A refrigerator is used in almost every home. Yes, children, answer is, the harmful microbes do not grow in cold temperatures. They grow only in the temperature range of 15 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. Refrigerator has very low temperatures. Food can be stored there without spoiling. Therefore, to store perishable food items, refrigerators have become essential in every home. Question A. Bread rises during baking. Answer is, when the bread is prepared, yeast is added to it. Children, yeast is a type of fungus. It undergoes process of fermentation in the batter of bread and releases carbon dioxide. Therefore, the bread rises during baking. Question G. Fodder is soaked in water before offering to cattle. Answer. By adding the fodder into water, it is fermented. By fermentation, the vitamin content rises in the fodder. It also becomes easier for digestion. The cattle is thus well nourished. Therefore, fodder is soaked in water before offering to cattle. Children, similarly, we can say idlis are more nutritious than rice because idli batter is also fermented. That is why its nutrients value or its nutritive value increases. That is why idlis are more nourished than rice. Let us see last question, which is question 7. When will you use a simple microscope and when a compound microscope? Explain in detail how you will use them. Let's see the answer. It is in 2 points. I will use a simple microscope to magnify the objects and to see the growth of a fungi or mucor on a piece of moist bread. Point 2. I will use a compound microscope in research laboratory and high school science lab to observe microorganisms which we are not able to see with our naked eye. Thank you students for watching my video till the end. Do like, share and subscribe my channel.